What's up, my beautiful Do Life in a Body You Love chicks? It is beautiful and sunny out where I am on this day that I'm recording, and summer is quickly approaching. And here comes the whole topic of like, wear the shorts, wearing a bathing suit, blah, blah, blah. And there's always all of this like positive talk about this, right? And about like, just who cares? Wear the thing, right? And I want to hammer this out a little bit because I love those type of posts and I love when people post those memes, and I'm all about it. I'm all about positive body image and not hiding behind baggy clothes while you're getting a freaking heat stroke because it's 90 and humid and you don't like your body, so you're wearing jeans. Like, I'm not all about that. So, but I don't know that just a couple of cutesy little Facebook posts are going to get the job done, because this is a pretty big topic, right? And so I just kind of want to like riff on this whole idea a little bit. And hopefully, I mean, some of this can be really deep seated in our minds. I'm not thinking that just like one podcast is going to probably get the job done, but I do want to maybe reframe a couple of things for you and give you a little bit of perspective that might make you have a more comfortable summer. Okay. So, my jam is that I want all of you doing life in a body that you love. And you guys have heard me talk about this before, but that doesn't actually mean that you're like super in love with your body and that it looks perfect and that you have no cellulite and no stretch marks and, whatever. Like, no, that's not the thing. Now, if you're very uncomfortable in your body because you've been a busy human who's been growing other humans and then raising other humans, or you've been building some boss ass career or business and like other things took precedent. And so things got a little slack in the health and the weight loss department. Okay, fine. Forgive yourself. Let's move on and let's do something about it. Obviously, if you need help with that, holler at your girl. We got a whole amazing group of coaches who would love to walk you through that. But here's what I know after coaching hundreds of women on weight loss is that your whole like being comfortable in your body isn't going to just happen from hitting a number on the scale anyways. And so I want to give you guys some reframes, okay? Because I want you to be comfortable now. Yeah, we can do the work. We can get healthier. We can get leaner. But you know what? There is always another level to take things to. Like, I'm not perfectly happy with the way that my body looks right now because I did have other priorities and I'm running a little bit thicker than I like to, but I don't care. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like but you have to like get yourself to this point of just like being really comfortable and going out and wearing things that you're comfortable in. And I'm not saying that you should like dress more risque than what you're comfortable with. I'm just saying, like, if there's something you want to wear or there's an activity that you want to go partake in and you're not doing it because you don't like the way your body looks, oh, it eats my soul. I hate it so much. I mean, especially like if it's not even about clothes, it's about like literally missing activities and skipping out on doing things that you want to do because you're so uncomfortable with how your body looks. And I get it. I have felt that. Okay. I've been there, and making the shift is not very easy, but here's the deal. Doing life in a body you love is more about loving yourself right now, no matter your shape, size, stretch marks, cellulite, don't care. You can love your body right now and still want to make healthy, positive changes to your body. That is, of course, going to make you a little bit more confident. But the reality is, like, your body's never going to look perfect. You're always going to nitpick it and find something wrong. So it's almost more of a state of mind. Like, it's this two opposing forces, right? On one hand, we can have put on more weight than we're comfortable with, but then it's also true that we could always nitpick our body and there's always room for improvement. And so like, at what point are we going to be happy? At what point are we going to just like go out and live life and do the thing? And I think what has to happen is like, there's many things, right? There's a whole lot of unpacking that has to happen here, but like untying our worth from the way that we look, which is really hard. And I'm not saying that I've perfectly pulled this off either, but like, no matter what shape your body is in right now, it like literally doesn't mean anything about who you are as a person. It means nothing. You know what it means? It means that you've been busy and you took your eye off the prize. Okay. So has more than half of America. So like, you're not alone in this. Like, most women are not happy in their bodies. I know women who are very, very lean, fit, beautiful, and some of them have like the least amount of confidence out of anybody that I know. So it's like, this isn't all just tied to actually what our body looks like. And like, for us to not be fully present and living life and going out and having like the best time because we don't love the way that our body looks, it's just doing us such a disservice. And so, and we're moving into this season where this tends to affect women more, right? Like, this is when humans come out of hibernation and we're like, cool, it's nice outside, especially if you're in the Midwest like I am. Now, those of you who live in amazing sunny places like Florida and Hawaii and California and Australia and like whatever beautiful places you're all in, you might not understand this. But for my chicks who experience a winter where you go outside and the air punches you in your face, it's literally like, boom, punch in the face from cold air. We hibernate, right? Like, some of you are cool and you like snowboard and you snowmobile and you ice fish, and I lay on my couch under a blanket and pray for summer to get here. And so when it does, I'm like, let me out. Like, I want to be on the golf course. I want to be on a boat. I want to go do all these things. And when I wasn't comfortable in my body, I would be like, I'd have all those thoughts. I'd want to go do all those things. And then I would be like, okay, but if I want to golf, I forgot I have to put on a collared shirt and some like khaki shorts, and none of my khaki shorts fit me. And I have muffin top in all of them, even if I can button them, which they're really difficult to even sit down in. I can't breathe when I sit in these things. And when I do, my muffin top spills over, and all of my collared shirts are like that tight, like spandexy Nike dry fit thing. And like, this is terrible. This looks like a can of biscuits exploded. And then I would be, and I don't want to go buy new clothes because I don't want to buy a size up. And so F it, I'm not going to golf. Or fine, let's go, but let's not go to a nice course that I actually want to golf on. Let's just go to this like hillbilly course where I can just wear whatever I want. and it doesn't matter. And so it was literally altering the experiences that I would let myself have. Can any of you relate to that? Like, maybe you can't, and then like, awesome, then you probably don't even need to listen to this episode. But this is for my girls who are like, yeah, I've totally like kind of pumped the brakes on doing a specific event because of the way that my body looked. Like, it's the equivalent of like being a teenager with a giant zit, and so now you don't want to go on a date, right? Except we are grown women who are like limiting what we're going and doing. Like, fine, I'll go on the boat, but I'm always going to have to like keep a cover up on. And you know what? That, like, I still am like that just for like modesty's sake. That's not what I'm talking about though. I'm talking about like hiding out of discomfort. I want to go do this thing, but I don't like the way my body looks, so I'm not going to do it. Or it's too hot for me to go and have to wear pants, and I'm not comfortable in shorts or a dress, so I'm gonna not go do it. That's the thing that I'm speaking to today. And so, first of all, nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but it's very rare for women to be happy in their body. Is sad as that is, it's true. And it really doesn't have very much to do with how they actually look, right? It's more of like a mindset. And so we are so, as human beings, in our own head about how we're being perceived. How is somebody looking at me? What is somebody thinking about me? Like, I used to be really lean and now I'm not, I put on 30 or 50 pounds or whatever it is. And the last time these people saw me, I was skinnier. And so I don't want to go see these people, blah, blah, blah. But then the thing that we're not really considering is that more than 50% of those people that we're getting ready to go see are in the same situation. Like, COVID's a great example. Okay. So like, classically, people gained 30 plus pounds during COVID, sometimes a lot more. And, but can we cut ourselves some slack? For crying out loud? We just lived through one of the most wild things in like human history. Like, that is going down in the history books. It's going to be talked about. Like, think about it like this, you guys. Like, if you're around my age group, it's going to be like our grandkids, or even like maybe our great grandkids, if we're around that long to see them, who are going to be like, you have this old person in your life who lived through the COVID pandemic. Can they like come in and talk to your class on Tuesday? And you're going to like go be the old person that shares this weird life experience. And these kids' brains are going to explode and they're going to be like, what? That's so wild. Like, that's how weird the thing is that we just lived through. And yet we're like, well, I'm such a piece of crap because I put on 30 pounds during the pandemic. And it's like, literally you're not a piece of crap because you put on 30 pounds during the pandemic. Like, everybody put on weight throughout the pandemic, and it was one of the weirdest things in human history, and it was certainly the weirdest thing that any of us have ever experienced in our life. And we were locked up in our houses, and we didn't have access to like the normal food that we would even access. We were forbidden to go to the gym. So even if you wanted to go work out, you literally weren't even allowed to. And then we're making this mean something about like who we are. Can we just go out on the boat this summer and be like, yeah, whatever. I put on a COVID 50 pounds. I'll bounce back. I'm going to get back in shape. I just hired a really cool health coach. Her name's Nikki. Haha, just kidding. Shameless plug for Keep It Off. But like, do your thing, get back in shape, okay? But like, don't judge yourself because you and the entire rest of the world put on weight during this pandemic, okay? Now take the pandemic off the table. Maybe you had been putting on weight for longer than that. Don't most women who have kids and a career and all of these things going on also put on some weight? Yes. Am I saying we should? And am I saying we shouldn't take care of ourselves? No. You guys know that I'm all about prioritizing our own health and all of the benefits that that instills on us and our family. Did I just make up a word? Instow? That's not a word. What? Can't believe you guys even listen to me. Anyways. Now I got all sidetracked by my weird verbiage. Oh yeah. So anyways, like very, very common that people put on weight during all of those things, but we feel like we're somehow less than because it happened to us, or like there's something wrong with us. We're the abnormal one. Listen, if you're walking around in a body you like, you're actually the abnormal one, right? And God bless you. I love it. I'm not knocking it. But like, if you don't feel totally comfortable in your body, that's actually totally normal. Okay. Like, it's the people who are comfortable in their body, that's the outlier. Over half of our population is overweight now. So you're not the odd man out. This isn't the 1800s where 1 in 100 people are overweight. It's literally over half of our population. So nobody's actually looking at you is the roundabout way of how I'm trying to get there. And man, I feel like I gotta tread lightly on some of this stuff. I don't want to be offensive, but like, here's the deal. If over half of us are overweight, who's looking at you in judgment? Literally, like who? Like nobody. First of all, if anybody is judging you, they're an asshole. And then literally, who cares about what they think? Right? Like, and I have that more abrasive personality where I just don't really care what people think. So I get that it's easy for me to say it. I appreciate that there are people who that's harder for. But you guys, it's hard for me too. For crying out loud, I'm a weight loss coach, right? Like, I'm supposed to look a certain way. So when I put on weight a couple years ago, like, there were reasons why it happened and I'm actually cool with it, but I am being judged by the whole world, like all the time. Like, oh, she's a little thick. Isn't she a weight loss coach? Like, whatever. But for the most part, people aren't being judged about the way that they look. They're just not. And if you are being judged, screw those people. Screw them. So a thought that a stranger might have about you randomly, who you're never going to see again, that person's opinion should definitely not bear any weight in our mind on what we're going to do, right? Like, you want to go to an amusement park, but you're like, oh, then I have to wear shorts and like, I'm going to see all these people. You're going to see a bunch of strangers. Look, they don't even know who you are. They don't even know what your name is. and they're all having the same thoughts about themselves in their own mind. So like, go have fun, go get on the roller coaster, go get on the water slide and have fun with your kids. These are strangers. Who cares? Screw them. They don't know you. They don't know who you are. This bears no, like, should have nothing to do with any sort of thought process that we're considering, right? But then there is the thing of like, okay, so I'm going to run into people that I know and this and that and the other. But keep in mind, they're all in the same situation for the most part. And even if they're not, even if you just got invited to go on a boat and they're all like filthy rich and they all have Botox and they've all had liposuction and they've all had all of their stretch marks blasted off of their body. I don't even know if that's possible or if that's a thing, but I feel like, man, you can make a lot of things happen, right? And they look like a bunch of freaking airbrushed Victoria's Secret models. First of all, who is getting on a boat with people like that? Maybe you are. God love you. But that's probably not what's going on. But then even if it were, like, who cares who you're going to be around? Go have fun. Like, we have one life, ladies, one, and the years go fast. The years go fast. I want you to go have the best freaking summer. I want you to go live it up. We've been in lockdown. Things have been weird. I know we're not fresh out of lockdown, so this is like weird that I keep referencing this, but like, okay, we're like, I feel like people are really getting into the swing and like being out and being humans again. And even as like moms, like we just get busy and we don't go do things. We don't go have fun, right? This is something I actually pose as a question to my clients on a regular basis. I'm like, okay, but also what things do you like doing? What things do you do for fun because you enjoy them? And most women are like, fun? I don't know. I work and I take care of all the humans in my life. Like, what? I don't, what's fun? I don't even know. So it's hard enough to prioritize having a social life and being fun and making memories. It's hard enough to prioritize that with like all the plates that we're spinning, right? Like, I don't want the way that you feel about your body to be one more thing that's a barrier to you going out and living your life. So let me tell you this. Everybody's got cellulite. Okay. You ain't getting rid of it. I don't want to be, yeah, this is not a good pep talk. This is the worst pep talk ever. Listen, your cellulite's never going away. Okay. Can you shrink your cellulite? Yes. As you lose weight, it will become less like dimply or whatever. It'll be like less apparent, but it will always be there. And that's okay. If you want a fascia blast and you want to do all those things before you go out of the house, knock yourself out. I'm all about it. I'm here for it. But know that those aren't permanent fixes. And like, I have friends who are insanely lean. They're leaner than I will ever get to because I don't have the willpower or the want or the desire to even get as lean as they are. I mean, like when I see them in a bathing suit, I'm like, oh yeah, I would love to be that lean. And then I know what it takes. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. I don't care enough to do the thing that she had to do to get that lean. And I make peace with that. Like, I'll make peace with not having a body like that because I don't want to do all that work. But my point is, like, even those chicks have cellulite. I know for a fact because they show it to me or I see it or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. She looks like she should be going to the CrossFit games. That's how fit she is. And she has cellulite. So I guess it's okay. Everybody's got stretch marks. I mean, I didn't from like normal growing as an adolescent because I didn't grow very much. I never had a growth spurt, but then I have them from pregnancy, right? Like whatever. We all have things, you guys. Nobody looks like what you see in magazines. Nobody looks like what you see even like on their like Instagram if they're like a fitness model and stuff like that. I know I've told you guys this numerous times, but I think that it bears repeating because it's not something that most people are acutely exposed to or aware of unless you have friends who work in this realm, okay? And so I have the privilege of knowing a lot of women who have competed on stage in bikinis. And they're not bodybuilders, okay? They're physique competition or something like that. And they look freaking amazing, okay? But here's the deal. They don't look like that most of the time. So what we don't understand about this industry when we're outside of it, and by the way, I'm super, super happy that like being anorexically skinny is no longer like the cool thing. It's not. So for those of you who were born in the 80s or older, and we were raised with like thigh gap is in, and be as lean as you possibly can and eat your salad and do your cardio and be like a stick figure. The fact that like more muscular and fit looking is the new thing, I'm all about that. But even that is causing some body dysmorphia for all of us, because here's why. So here's what happens. If you're a fitness competition person, I'm butchering all the language. All my friends right now who do this are like wanting to punch me in the face when they listen to this, because they're like, get the terminology right. Whatever. They're getting Fergie fit, super lean, putting on a bikini, getting on stage in their high heels, making their booty pop, looking amazing. Okay. Here's how this works. Build a bunch of muscle, cut a bunch of fat, build a bunch of muscle, cut a bunch of fat, go through all this period, get your body percentage of fat as low as you can possibly get it before you get on stage. Or like to the point where most of my friends who have done this have lost their periods, which sounds really lovely. Like, wait, did she just say I can be super, super lean, have a six-pack abs, and not have a period? And this is supposed to be a downsell on this idea? No, but listen, here's what's going on there. So losing your period because you're so lean or because you're working out so much is actually a poor sign. Like, this is like hormonal disruption. This is an unhealthy place to live, and it's not sustainable for a very long time, which is why these women who get their percentage of body fat this low don't stay there all the time. They diet back down to that level before they get on stage again. They don't live that lean. None of them. None of them. Even the men. They don't live that lean. Okay. This is no longer about health when we're pushing our body to that extreme. And by the way, I want it to be very clear that I'm not knocking it. I think it's amazing what these people do from like a discipline standpoint. And like, it's a sport, right? But it's not for health. Okay. And so they also do like a lot of like manipulating like the water in your body. I don't even understand how it all works, but it has to do with like when you eat carbs within a few days before getting on stage, and then you cut carbs, and then things that you do with your sodium because you want to like deplete water out of your body, but then you want to like swell the muscles up with fluid right before you get on stage. Like, it is like these intricate formulas. It's wild. And that's how they get their body to look that way to get on stage. And then they have like a posing coach that teaches them how to pose, to stand in specific ways, to make their body look certain ways. And like, then those are the pictures that we see. Those are the images that we see. And maybe they're not competing on stage, but they're some sort of like Instagram influencer in the fitness space. And so they basically go through the same exact process, but then they do photo shoots. And then the rest of the year, they're not actually that lean as what they were for their photo shoot. And then in the photo shoot, they're airbrushed. When they're on stage, there's specific lighting and spray tans and all of these things that hide the flaws, that hide the blemishes that we don't see. If it's a photo, it's airbrushed. So my point is that the people that we have in our brain as being like the ideal of quote unquote health and fitness, they don't actually even look like we think that they look. They're the person and they don't look that way. And then we have this in our brain that this is like the ideal, that this is the standard. What? No, I'm like a busy working person. Like, I'm just trying to be like reasonably healthy and maybe live a little bit longer and have some better longevity, and yes, be confident and comfortable. But if I have to do that to be confident and comfortable and like, bleh, no. And so every woman gets to make a decision for herself on how lean she wants to be. I was going to say what you want your body to look like, but that's not entirely true. Like, I have no torso. I'm short. My ribs sit on top of my hips. It's crazy. There's like a half an inch between my ribs and my hips, you guys. It's ridiculous. Am I changing that? No. I can lay on all the inversion tables I want. My spine's not going to stretch out. It is what it is, right? You're not changing your bone structure. That is a real thing, right? But we can choose how much muscle we want to put on our body. We can choose how much fat we want to lose off of our body. Like, we get to make these choices. Here's the thing that you have to do though. You have to decide for yourself and having a realistic expectation of what it's going to take to get to a certain place of leanness is very, very helpful. So if you know what it's going to entail. Now, here's what I see on the other end. Women think it's going to be harder than it is to go lose, let's say 20 or 30 pounds. They think I have to starve, or I have to like crush it in the gym 24/7, and I just don't have time for that, or I have to eat a bunch of weird salads, or I have to eat avocado and I don't even like avocado. Like, I have to run, but I have bad knees. Like, we make up all these things that we think have to happen to lose weight in our brain, and we think it's going to be too hard. And so we just don't take any action, and then we stay uncomfortable and miserable, and it's not even based on anything that's true. The reality is, like, you can lose a lot of weight with a very reasonable plan. Okay, so then you decide, okay, well, how much do you want to lose? Well, let's get after it with a reasonable plan. But then there comes this point in time where you have to go, but at some point I have to be happy. Now, I don't want this to sound like what I'm saying is settle. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying realistically meet yourself where you're at, and then be happy and content. If you decide this is as far as I want to take it, this is as fit looking as I want to get, this is as lean as I want to get, then at that point in time, what you do is you have to pivot and be content and accept your flaws. At some point in your journey, you have to accept your flaws, because we all have them. Every single person has them. I can stand up. I should do some pictures like this. I love it when people post pictures like this. I can stand in a specific way and look pretty darn lean. And then I can also like go just like stand like a regular person, and I have chub, and like, it's fine. It is what it is, whatever. But at some point you have to accept, here's my stretch marks. Here's my cellulite. Okay, here's where my body tends to hold fat. And if you want to get rid of it, that's fine. You absolutely can. You can lose fat from any spot in your body. It all just depends on the level of leanness that you want to get. But how far do you want to take it? And then unmarry your self-worth from the way that your body looks. Like, make a choice, make a decision. How quote unquote healthy do you want to be? How lean do you want to be? How much muscle do you want to have? What are these things? Make a decision, and then let's get fierce and aggressive and get after it in a very comfortable way, doing life how you actually want to do life. And then loving where you're at, like accepting it and being like, okay, this is the body that God gave me, and I'm cool with it. And I'm going to go on, I'm going to have fun. And yeah, maybe I'm not the leanest person on the boat. And if people are looking at me, which they're probably not, but if they are, well, then screw them. Who cares? Because at the end of your life, are you going to care more that you went and had experiences? Are you going to look back when you're 80 and be like, man, I really wish I didn't go on the boat that one year that I thought I looked really chubby? Huh? No, you're not going to think that. I've talked to many people on their deathbeds. I was an ICU and an ER nurse. I've never had anybody be like, man, I really wish I wouldn't have went and did that thing that I was just too fat to be out doing. Nobody's ever said that to me. But people regret not doing things, not showing up, not being engaged. I talk to women currently who right now in their 40s and 50s are telling me I am missing out on things. I don't go do things with my family because I don't have the physical capacity to do it, or I don't want to put the shorts on and I'm too hot, and so I just don't go. And those are the things that we're going to regret. You're not going to probably regret going out. What's going to happen if you go out is you're going to realize that everybody else pretty much is in the same predicament. Nobody's comfortable in their body, but you're like an amazing, beautiful person, and your body doesn't need to be perfect for you to have fun. Your body does not need to be perfect for you to have fun. Your body doesn't need to be perfect for you to have value. Your family doesn't give a crap what your body looks like. They just want you there. They want you to have fun. They don't want you to be uncomfortable and persnickety and all of these things, because you're all in your own head about things that nobody else at that picnic cares about. Nobody else is looking at you because they're so worried about what they look like. Nobody can be worried about what everybody else looks like when they're worried about what they look like. Like every other woman at that picnic is like, man, if I sit down, you're going to see all that cellulite on my thigh. That's what she's thinking. She's not thinking about your cellulite. She's thinking about her own. And men don't actually care about it either. So here's the thing. Like, I'm turning into a broken record at this point. I'm just saying the same thing over and over. So I guess I'm going to wrap this up. But like, I want you to have the best summer. I mean, I want you to have the best life. I want you to have this life where you're like fully engaged and you're not afraid to put yourself out there and you go do the things and you have the fun and like just totally F it. This is me. This is who I am. Here I am, world. I'm showing up. Boom. I want that for you, right? But it starts one day at a time and it can be uncomfortable at first if you're really in your head about things. But it's like, what things are even true about the stories that you're making up in your head? What's true? Are people really looking at you? Maybe you do have some weight that you want to lose. Okay, put a plan in place. And then while you're losing the weight, be so comfortable with it. Be so comfortable and happy with yourself for doing the work. So let's say you have 50 pounds that you want to lose and you just lost 10 and you're like, I'm not going to go out and have fun until I lose the whole 50. Okay, go out when you're comfortable, but maybe don't wait until the whole 50 is gone. Like, can you on your journey give yourself a pat on the back for what you've already done? Like, okay, fine, I've got 50 pounds I want to lose and maybe I'm not there all the way and I'm not super comfortable yet, but I have lost 10 and I am working hard and I deserve to go out and have a good time. And like, you can be proud of yourself instead of being like embarrassed that you have 40 more to go. Why don't you celebrate the fact that you've lost 10 and that's really amazing and that it is hard to do? Like the things that you have to do to lose weight don't need to be hard. Like the steps need to be pretty simple. But anytime you're changing your behavior, it is hard. It is a challenge. And that's what weight loss is all about, is behavior change, right? And learning to prioritize yourself and all of this and that and the other. So if you're on a weight loss journey, I don't want to downplay how uncomfortable it can be when you're overweight. I don't want to downplay that. But at the same time, I don't want you to check out from enjoying your life or the value that you provide. Like, people love being around you for some reason. You have family and friends, right? Why do they love you? Why do they love being around you? You're a gift to the people in your world, no matter what your body looks like. You are a gift. So go share that gift. Go out, be social, have fun. Wear the shorts if you want to wear shorts. If the shorts are cutting into your thighs or your stomach so it's uncomfortable, fine. Go get a sundress. Get on something that you're going to be able to like at least be reasonably comfortable in for the season, and then go have fun and know that most people are more in their own head than they are worried about anybody else around them. And I promise you that this is true. I promise you, because I talk to women about this stuff all the time. We are all only worried about ourselves. Even me, when I go out, I'm not judging anybody else's body, because I'm not a jerk. And also, I don't care what anybody else's body looks like. I'm still in my own head about myself. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't stop me from doing things, but like, I would be much more concerned about my own self and how I look and how I'm perceived than I am worried about anybody else. And that's how most humans are, right? So go out there, do life in a body that you love, or a body that you at least like or can respect this summer while you're working on loving your body. It's a journey, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but your body's probably done some really, really, really cool things. And it's probably taken some beatings over the years. Mine has. Whew, I have done some terrible, stupid things to my body. And the fact that she's still here, letting me be alive, is actually kind of amazing in and of itself. And I'm not going to judge myself for the things that I've done to my body that weren't so great. It's not a big deal. We all did, right? We've all done things to our body that weren't so great. But you can still recognize the fact that she's still kicking it. You're still up, moving around, walking around on this planet, even if we've abused our bodies, right? So our bodies are actually pretty cool. And so now play nicey nicey with your body. Like if there's some cleaning up in the health space you got to do it because you love yourself. Do it because your body's pretty cool and she deserves it. But don't do it out of self-loathing or because you think that you're not good enough the way you are. You're good enough right now. You're amazing right now. You have value to offer the world right now because you are walking around in that body that is a gift from God, but you are not your body. Okay? You're not your body. You're a person who has value right now. So go live your life. I love you all, and I will catch you next week.